What is up, everybody? It's Connor with Rippin Discs.
And this is Hunter, and today we are bringing you the 2020 King of Idaho Falls Tournament.
First up, we have Dallin Blanchard, who is currently ranked number 10 in the world. He's coming into this round at negative 42 and 1 stroke ahead of the competition.
And close behind, we have Kesler Martin sitting at a negative 41.
After that, we have the young 17-year-old Kade Filimoehala coming in at a negative 35 and 7 strokes behind the lead.
Then we have Mason Foltz coming in at a negative 23. Today we are going to be playing a 27-hole round.
First up, we have Dallin. On this first hole, you're really just looking to get a forehand in there because on the right, you kind of got some bushes blocking it. Here's Dallin, just skipping it off that. That's a good skip. And he'll have a good 15-footer. Not bad.
Next up is Kesler. And he's taking the straight line at it, just trying to float it over top of these bushes. And parks it just right, probably about a 20-footer.
Yeah, he went the backhand turnover route, which is a pretty good route. Kade's going to go with the forehand. Really, you just got to get over this first bunch of bushes right here, and you're pretty much setting yourself up for a putt. And that's about as good as you can do it.
Then we have Mason. It does look like he's going with his overhand with the big tomahawk throw. That thing just spirals down. It spikes pretty hard. He did get a bad kick there, so he's going to have the furthest putt.
You're going to see him throw that a lot today. He throws thumbers and tomahawks, and he's pretty dang accurate with them.
Just misses left on that putt. That was outside of the circle, so definitely a more difficult one.
Here you got Kade, probably 20, 25 feet. There's Kade cashing in his birdie. He's got a deadly putt. We watched him in the Utah Open last week, and it sure is a good stroke.
And Kesler's able to get his birdie.
Down a little bit obstructed, nothing too serious. He's just going to straddle out. Cash in his bird.
And here we have Mason just tapping out for his par. So on that hole, Dallin obviously didn't lose anything to Kesler. And coming up on hole 2, we have a rather far throw. It is an 820. Big Mando around these pine trees that you'll see up here.
This is a par 5, so what you're going to try to do is get past these big trees here and get yourself in the open for your next approach shot. And Dallin does just that, so he's going to have a good shot in and try to get up and down for an eagle from right there.
And here we have Kesler taking a little bit higher of a line, but comes over these trees great, gets a good skip, and is way out there.
Kade, for being 17, he has a huge arm, so you're going to see him go big right here. And he crushes this. He actually made the camera turn. We missed this one, but I mean, that thing was hauling so fast. He's probably a good 100 feet past the rest of the card, and they're all laughing about it because he just has an amazing throw.
And Mason throws this just a little too low. He's not going to get the distance that he wants, so he's just going to get to that tree line to give him an opening for this forehand.
Mason with the forehand. Little bit wide. That is a Mando right there, but skips it out into the open, so he'll have a good approach shot for his up and down for a birdie.
And Dallin has a good opening here. Able to get a full windup to give it basically a second drive. And he just crushed that one up there. He's going to have a decent look for his eagle.
Here we got Kesler. He went a little bit left, so he's going to try to throw something overstable. And cuts it a little short. Hits that tree. He'll have to get up and down from there for his birdie.
And here we have the end result of Kade's drive. Just a monster of a throw there. Gets beyond this pine tree and has a pretty straight look at the basket on the other side of the Mando.
Yeah, he's on another planet. That throw is impressive. So he's going to try to get this up and down for his eagle.
He just sent that in so nice. Gets a little long on the basket, even on the back side of it, but he was all over that throw.
He ended up in those pine trees, and when you do get in those pine trees, it's very tough because you drop right below where your disc is, and you have to putt from there. So, but here's Kesler. Skipping in nice. He's going to have probably a 20-footer for his birdie.
And Mason going with that overstable, trying to keep it low enough. Looks like that tree catches him and sets it down on the back side of it, which is going to make it a little tougher.
And here's Dallin for his eagle. He's in a pretty open spot, and his putt is very consistent, so let's see if he can put this in. Cashes it in just barely. So no matter what, he's going to be taking a stroke lead on Kesler, depending on what he can do.
Here's Mason getting in a rather difficult spot just because of those pine trees. Really low ceilings. It doesn't cut through them at all. That's about the best you can do, is just give it a nice little tap out.
Here's Kade, and you're really going to see the difficulty of these pine trees. This is for his eagle. Just misses it off to the right. Good shot, though. He's going to have that for his birdie.
Here you have Kesler. This is definitely one of the most protected baskets on the approaches, so that's why you're seeing everybody struggle with these. Kesler able to cash in on his birdie, though. Definitely a great putt from a difficult stance.
Kade and Mason going to tap out. This is Mason's par and his 5. And here you're going to see Kade, 10-footer for his birdie. Looking at that, we've got Dallin taking another stroke on the card. So great work by him. Great eagle.
Dallin's just giving this one a ride. This is a pretty easy par 3, 312 feet. He just leaves it a little bit left, but still in a good position.
We're going to see most of these players go with a big hyzer shot because there are these bushes that are kind of protecting you on the right. So as long as you can get it over them, you're leaving yourself a good putt. Except for Kesler, he's just going right up the middle. And he's going to have probably a 25-footer from there.
Kade putting it on a huge hyzer spike line. just catches a little too much wind for him, pushes him back quite a bit.
Mason going with the overhand. And he's just got this thing down. I mean, he's got the distances down. He knows the flight path, and that's amazing. Let's take another look at this. Just straight out of his hand, it just looks so good. So he's going to have that for his birdie.
And here's Kade giving it a bit of a jump putt. Does come up a little short, but he'll have the tap-in par there.
Dallin from probably 40 feet away and just leaves it a little short onto the left.
It's one thing you do see a lot of here, checking their putts with the grass, making sure the wind's not too crazy. It is Idaho, and this was the least windy day they had this tournament. And Kesler is barely able to sneak that by and get his birdie, just barely clearing the rim.
Little elevator putt. Mason to clean up his birdie after that sweet drive. Cashes it in.
And Kade taking his easy par.
Dallin taking his par, so he's actually losing a stroke to Kesler right here, so he's going to be one up going into this next hole.
And this lead card is actually starting out with a pretty hot round. No bogeys yet.
Kesler, so they're going to take this outside line right here and go around these trees and kind of just let it crash in. There's pine trees that line up that whole thing. He went a little long, but that's going to give him a pretty dang good shot for his birdie.
And here we have an overhand thumber from Mason. And catches some early trees. Still has a wide open putt.
You're going to see Dallin go with this outside line too. Just swing it out wide. Hopefully it misses this pine tree coming in and gives yourself a good look for a bird. Takes it pretty long too, but he's going to have just outside the circle for his bird.
Kade also following that same line.
He ended up hitting a tree right there and came up pretty short, so he's going to have this little forehand flick to get out of here and try to give him a good look for his par at least. And as you can see, these trees really just suck up your disc pretty good. Definitely make it difficult on your shots after.
Able to get a really good skip there. Tries rolling towards the OB, but looks like it gets wedged in between the tree there, so that'll keep him safe.
Down for his bird. Cashes it in. Gonna put a lot of pressure on Kesler coming up on this next putt.
Here we have Kesler, about a 30-footer here. Comes up short. That OB behind there probably gave a little intimidation towards him.
Here's Kade for his par save. Cashes it in, and he's got a super confident putting stroke. Let's take another look at that real quick. For the par save, needed that one to stay in the race.
Here's Mason for his birdie look, about a 25-footer. Just sneaks it over, gets that bird.
Get that bird. 2 birds on the card by Dallin and Mason, and Kade with the great par save.
Here we have a pretty deep shot. They are going over this river. There is a Mando on the right that they've got to worry about. So Mason gives it a big flick and comes up very short and in those trees. That's going to cause a lot of problems for him here.
Might be a good tree though, because if you'd have gone any more right past the tree, you probably would have skipped right of the Mando. You're going to see Dallin go with this backhand, just trying to keep it straight. Good shot. He's going to have to go around that Mando still, but giving himself a good layup from there.
Kesler goes with a bit of a flip-up shot here, getting a great ride out of it, and if he gets a left skip, that's perfect. The Mando's there on the right on that pole, so he's in a great position.
Kade going with the forehand. Keeps it low. Little bit of a skip, but just hits the Mando right there, so he's going to be fine. And coming up on this next shot, what you're going to see is the basket is super obstructed. So you're going to see them just try to put it in as close as they can after these trees. And there is that shed right there, so they're going to be going over that as well.
Here we have Mason having to climb into these trees to get an open shot out. Just as a quick little punch out, give him some room for his next shot.
Doesn't want to go with anything too crazy right there. As you can see, you just want to get into the open spot so you can get towards that basket right there. Dallin going to be going with the thumber right here. He's really just going to be trying to hit those trees almost and just hopefully get a look for a bird.
It's really just playing a game of Plinko at that point.
Takes it huge. That's just crashing into those trees. And he's going to have a look from there. It's going to be obstructed, but he might have a chance to put that in.
And Mason also throws that low thumber there. Probably a little lower than he wanted. It did catch those trees pretty quick, so he's going to have a difficult putt.
Probably about 30 feet out with those trees. It definitely is tough. Kade going to go with a roller right here. Just punches it out into the open to give himself a look from there.
Kesler with the best drive for sure. He's just going to give it a nice backhand. Looks like he does catch an early tree, so he is going to be having a pretty difficult upshot from there.
Kade trying to give it a run with the forehand. Parks it close. That's going to be for his par.
Outside.
Here we have Kesler with some work to do still. Gives it the jump putt. And a great run, just barely hits the basket. He was just short.
That's a really good jump putt. He's very accurate with those. Mason for his par. Catches that tree. That's something that you do not want to see right there.
Here's Dallin stretching out for his birdie. Cashes it in. That's a great shot. Great up and down. It is a difficult hole to do, but that thumber really parked it close enough for him to get that birdie. Well deserved there.
Here you got Mason. This is for his bogey. Good shot. Still a tough putt from there even.
And here we have Kade getting his tap-in par, and Kesler as well.
Kesler almost giving it a bid. That was a pretty awesome putt.
So a rather difficult hole there for our card, but Dallin is able to walk away with a birdie.
On this next hole, you're really just going to try to see him get it out into the open and give themselves a good upshot towards the basket after that. This is a par 4, and that's a really good shot right there. The whole goal is to get as far right as you can so you're looking straight at the basket and so you can see the basket.
And here's Kesler going with a turnover shot here. Just going to hold that right line and float down to a nice stop.
Here's Kade. So he went a little long, so I don't think he'll be able to see the basket from there, but he'll be able to throw a hyzer shot and probably put it pretty close.
Here you have Mason also going with that forehand. Swings it out nice. If he gets a good skip. Oh, the grass kind of ate it up, so he did come up pretty short there, but still has a decent look coming in.
You got Dallin. Didn't quite go as long as the other ones, but at least he can see the basket from here, so great upshot. He's going to have that for his birdie. Super good shot.
And here is Kade to the left. He was getting pretty close to that OB line that you see flagged there. And he's going to give it this hyzer to get around that Mando. And puts it pretty dang close. I mean, not bad.
Better than I could do. Mason, he's going to have that same shot. Just putting it on a hyzer, letting it float in towards the basket. And that's a great shot right there.
Kesler just with a nice easy X step. Just going to throw a floaty disc in there and let it sit down.
Kade furthest away from the pin with a 10-footer, so really good hole for these players. Mason for his bird.
And Dallin is able to get his as well. And Kesler is just going to have a slight little tap in here.
And there we go. First perfect hole for this card. They are really having a hot round so far.
That is birdies all around. And coming up on number 6 here, we do have a rather short par 3, only 314 feet. But it does have some difficulties with the OB lines.
Down with the overhand, catches that tree, doesn't get the distance he probably wanted, but you pretty much just want to put it inside of that grass because it is OB if you go on this path right here, and there's a road right behind it too.
Here's Kesler throwing that same turnover shot. Doesn't get it quite right enough. He does catch that tree, so he is going to have a pretty tough time getting up and down from there.
Here's Kade with his Nova. He relies on this disc quite a bit. And he goes huge off the tee. Puts himself pin high, but that pine tree is going to get in his way. That's going to be a tough putt from there.
And Mason also going for that big overhand. And cuts down perfect. That was a great shot to give him a good look.
Kesler from probably 55 feet. Puts it on a good line, just hides it out a little bit too early. You're going to see Dallin go with the same type of shot right here.
And same thing there. He hides it out a little sooner than he would have liked, but they are going to have a bit of a putt still coming back.
Kade with a great drive, just doesn't get rewarded. Takes no time on that, just punches out.
And here we have Mason looking at about a 30-foot putt. And absolutely nails it. Almost doesn't catch any chain there, but is able to walk away with the only birdie on the card.
Slam dunk. Kesler just catching the outside of the chains and skipping off. That's pretty unfortunate. He's going to have that next shot for his bogey.
And Dallin is able to hit that par there.
Kesler from about the same distance. Takes his time, puts it in the middle.
There's Kade with his tap out par. So Kesler, that hole did eat him up a bit, and he got that unfortunate spit out. So he's looking at a bogey, giving up a stroke to Dallin again.
Here you got Mason. This shot is really just as straight as you can. That is an island right there. So you're just trying to land it in there and give yourself a putt. There is this river, so you don't want to go too far left or have your disc skip out that way.
And that's why here you're going to see Dallin opt for a forehand in. Puts it on a nice flat line, gets a big skip, and is able to land it on the island.
He's going to have a little bit of a death putt there, but not a bad shot at all. Kade going with the forehand too. The only problem you're going to see with the forehand is this tree kind of hangs a little low, so you're going to want to keep your disc super flat. Kade just getting under it and skipping past the basket. That's a great shot right there.
And here's Kesler just throwing a really straight disc. Able to get a good little slide there, so he's going to have a decent putt.
Here you got Dallin from about 30 feet. Just comes up short. That is a pretty tough putt with that river behind you.
And Mason at his birdie look. Just leaves it right, catches the chains, but on too much of a hyzer that it wasn't able to grip any of them and skips through.
Here you got Kade with his great drive. Just about a 15-footer for his birdie.
Dead center putt from Kade there to get his bird.
You got Kesler, about the same distance. Chains out just to the left. That's two misreads on the last two holes.
And Mason able to save his par there after just missing that putt for his birdie.
Pars for our two leaders. Kade taking the only birdie and getting a stroke on the card coming into this last hole.
Now this is a pretty difficult hole. It does have a very tight fairway. OBs on both sides on the trail and the road.
Kade putting on a good line. Catches those trees and falls a little bit short. So he's going to be OB right there. If he didn't catch those trees, he probably would have been in bounds, but tough break.
And here's Mason, giving it a great shot, coming right up the gut. And gets a huge skip off the road.
Needs to sit.
And his disc just rolls past that other OB. Very unfortunate break for him. He definitely had a great line there.
Dallin taking it a little bit too wide. He is going to be OB on that side. Kind of a shank on that one.
And here's Kesler. Just keeps it too far left, it looks like. He is going to get that big skip that's going to carry him over the road to OB. So all of our card there not able to get in bounds.
You got Dallin going with the flex forehand. Just sneaks it inbound, and he's going to have like a 45-footer with the water behind it, so kind of a tester putt for his par.
And here's Kade, just giving it a nice easy backhand. And is able to swing out and get about pin high, so his putt isn't going to be as scary.
Kesler swinging out wide. Great shot. He's going to probably have a 25-footer from there.
And here's Mason, also opting to swing it out pretty wide. Get on that riverbank side so the putt isn't as scary going towards the water.
Down with his par putt and just leaves it a little short and to the left. He's going to have that for his bogey.
And here's Mason for par. Just hits the top of the basket.
Kade with about a 45-footer. Puts a flex on it and cashes it in. Let's take another look at that one. Bench in his way. Little bit of a flex on it. Dead center of the chains to save his par.
Kesler comes up just short there. He is going to have a tap-in bogey, but definitely wanted to see him get that par. And looking at that hole, Kade gains another stroke there with the only par of the card.
Dallin coming in with a hot round of -5 and a -47 on the tournament.
And Kesler a little bit rougher at a -2 with -43 on the tournament.
Kade -4. Pretty good round, staying at a -39 for the tournament.
And Mason with a -2. He is still quite a ways behind.
Be sure to subscribe and stay tuned for the next one.
Rippin' Discs, we are out.